If you're adventurous enough, it's my belief that you can learn something new about classic WoW every single day. As the highly anticipated Season of Discovery rolls into its third week, I think it's important to remember it can be rewarding to stop and take some time to examine the details of the massive world of Azeroth. Today's journey brings us to the dwarven capital of Ironforge, where archaeologists and researchers dwell in the Hall of Explorers. Within this large building, perhaps the largest in the city, is a museum displaying several rare or unique historical artifacts that I want to look at in this video. As always, thank you for your fun comments and support, and with all that being said, let's get right into it. Let's begin with some artifacts found close to the home of the dwarves. A ruined horde catapult lies on display, a piece of wreckage from around 20 years ago when the Orcish horde laid siege to Ironforge in the Second War. Despite the overwhelming force of the orcs, the city withstood the siege, and now this catapult is a reminder of the dwarves' narrow victory that day. Another spoil of dwarven war, the skull of Tyrannostraz, rests on a raised platform. During the Second War, the horde enslaved many red dragons to do their bidding, with Tyrannostraz being one of the mightiest. Rumored to be the elder consort of Alexstrasza the Dragon Queen herself, Tyrannostraz was forced to fight for the horde during the Battle of Grim Batol, eventually being killed by the Black Dragon Deathwing, who entered the battle and attempted to steal the dragon's eggs for his own schemes. There have been discussions to return the skull to the Red Dragons, historically the allies of the Free People of Azeroth, but in the time of Classic WoW, the skull is still here on display. Speaking of skeletons, a replica of the mighty ram Tooth Gnasher stands in the center of the hall. This creature is a central figure in dwarven folklore, and is said to let well-behaved children ride on his back. The plaque lists Tooth Gnasher as a wonder of Cosmodan with freakish size and stamina, indicating this may have once been a real animal, but seeing as the skeleton here is only a replica, it's unknown where the real deal is now. Not far away is a stuffed Geru Strider, the largest genus of plain striders. This was probably obtained somewhere in central Kalimdor, and it's quite possible that some of the larger specimens encountered in the wild could still belong to the Geru family. Hanging overhead is one of the two artifacts found in the remote Ungoro crater, a pterodon skeleton. This particular exhibit is apparently an undiscovered genus that may no longer fly around the crater, but still possesses the same powerful wings as the pterodax that are alive today. It's also clear that this reptile was much larger than the present-day species, looking as large as a small dragon, which could indicate something in the environment changed and caused this to die off centuries ago. The final skeleton that can be examined here is a rock talon, found off the southern coasts of Stranglethorn Vale. It is believed to have once belonged to a mythical rock sunbird. While not definitively proven, I think this could have been a creature worshipped by the ancient jungle trolls as a Loa deity, as the rock was also revered in Tauran mythology. Near the rock talon, there are two different types of eggs. A clutch of saurial eggs once held embryonic devil saurs, fearsome predators of the Ungoro crater. The scientists of the Explorers League have also used this egg material to help devise formulas for the venom produced by these creatures. Nearby are an even older clutch, fossilized eggs recovered from the deserts of Tanaris. The plaque mentions the species that lays such eggs, though predicted to be insect-like in nature, is still unknown, and that these particular samples could be up to 1,000 years old. This is a rather ominous exhibit, especially knowing the context of what these actually are. Across southern Kalimdor, adventurers discover the horrors of the insectoid Silithid, which have returned to the surface after nearly 1,000 years of banishment. These eggs were probably laid during the War of the Shifting Sands against the Night Elves before this banishment, and their location in Tanaris indicates just how far the Silithid spread across Azeroth before they were imprisoned once more beneath the sand. If 1,000 years wasn't long enough, let's go a little further back in time. A highborn astrolabe can be seen on display, dated to 12,000 years ago during the time of the Quel'Darai Empire. The Night Elves were arcane masters, but also scholars, who studied the heavens in search of knowledge. This artifact was recovered from the sunken city of Suramar, lost beneath the waves during the Great Sundering. It is unknown how the dwarves were able to recover this specific piece, but I have a few ideas. Perhaps like in Ajara, the dwarves were able to recover it from a coastal ruin or shallow reef, or maybe they had already worked with the gnomes to develop submersible technology and reach the forgotten depths containing Night Elven treasures. The final few pieces visible to everyday players come from Uldaman, an ancient stronghold built by the Titan Keepers and the progenitors of modern dwarves. The relics and relief fragments on display come from the vast halls of carved stone, and apparently show a link between the earthen and the dwarves, with the plaque reading, "Should further evidence arise, the theories of our supposed creation by the mythic titans could prove to be true." This evidence would continue to be hinted at throughout the game until it was fully unveiled in Wrath of the Lich King with the discovery of Ulduar and the Storm Peaks. Last but not least, we have the most recent addition to the museum, which can be seen by players during the Key to Searing Gorge questline. After obtaining the horn of the Thunder Lizard, Margol the Rager, bringing the artifact to Curator Thorius in the museum unlocks a special cutscene where he establishes a new display for the horn, a symbol of victory for all archaeologists who were driven off by the creature. And with that, we come to the end of our museum tour for today. Thanks for your patience in waiting for this vid. I've been sick for most of last week, and I could hardly even look at my computer, but I'm back now and ready to share plenty of videos with you all as we continue on with the holidays. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, may the Force be with you.